Hello folks, I hope you're all doing well. We are here for what is hopefully the last part of the greenhouse build with a bit of luck. So you might remember, if you saw the last one, we were missing a few parts and it was something that's called a J-clip. And what I'll do in a few seconds there, I'll bring you over here and I'll show you what I've used the J-clips for and how they sort of attach this bit, the frame, to the base and how that looks. And then after that, it was on to doing the glass. Now, I unexpectedly had some help yesterday. So we started doing some of the glass. You can see there's a little bit up here. We've got all the glass in along the side here and all the back is done as well. So what I'll do, I'll come over and grab you and I'll pop back in here and we'll have a look. So we'll start off outside and then we'll come inside and we'll come over to the back first. And you can see, because it's new and it's not really very dirty at all, it might be difficult to see on the camera, but there is glass in all these bits at the back here. Admittedly, this bit back here with this little triangle where it's jointed here, that was a bit fiddly, but overall, I must admit, once you get the knack of getting the little springy clip things in, and I'll show you them in a bit once I sort of come to doing some more of the glass. I'll show you the little spring clips because there's a bit of a knack to it, and you think you've got it, you think you've got the knack, and then when you come to do the next bit, you seem to instantly forget about it. But it's there. It's in, the glass is in, the back's done, all along the bottom of the sides. And I've got one of the bits in the top here, and we've got, although it's raining a little bit today, our window that opens is there as well. So progress is progress. And let me just come all the way down here and show you these. Let's go along here to this one. So you might be able to see or not, there's a little clip here. And what you have to do is just loosen these bolts a little bit and pop the clip over the top, and then it hooks under the bottom here. You put the nut back on and that secures it. And there's 8 of them overall, so 2 in the front, 2 in the back, 2 either side, and that's all secure. So today it's now time to crack on. That's a bad choice of words, isn't it? Crack on with the glass. I'll maybe rethink that one, but I'll just show you around here. So we've got the rest of this side of the roof to do, we've got this side of the roof to do, we've got all along this one side, along the front, including the door, which I think might be a little bit tricky, and I'm hoping the funny shaped triangle bits there might be all right, might not, we'll see, hopefully not too awkward. But I'll get set up, I'll do some different filming and stuff today, and we'll show you a couple of different ways of putting the different pieces of glass in and the different things that you've got to do, because there's little rubber tracks and stuff you've got to put in some of the bits, which is again, it's a little bit fiddly, but on the whole, I don't want to speak too soon before finished. It's not been as bad as I thought it would be. So I'll get set up, I'll come back and we'll get some more of the glass in. Right, so hopefully this bit I'm going to show you here is fitting some of this sort of black rubber sort of track stuff that goes on the edges where you have glass. So wherever you're going to have glass in the greenhouse, you generally have some of this sort of black rubbery stuff for it to sit against on the metal and runs along there. And along each piece, there's a sort of a track that runs all the way along it that it just sort of slides over, and that goes all the way down. Now, it's not too bad. It can be a little bit of a faff. Once you've got it started, it's generally all right. You can sort of slide your thumb all the way down and get it pressed on. Now, admittedly, I might make this look a little bit harder than it actually is today, because it's raining a bit and my hands are cold. It's a bit cold. Hopefully it's going to warm up a little bit later on. But when it's conditions like this, things are always a little bit more difficult. But I'll try and get the camera in quite close so you can see how this sort of runs down this track here, and see if I can show you it going on. So we'll get that set up and I'll be back with you in just a jiffy. So we're all set up, and I've got the camera attached to the top of the step ladder, because that's the only thing that I had tall enough to get up to this high. So let me see if I can show you this bit of rubber sort of quite close up. And on this side here, it sort of splits open. You might be able to see that, you might not. And the trick is, you just got to try and kind of get your finger into the top here, and if you can get the first bit on, this could be some comedy filming here as I as I try to get this first bit of rubber on. And like I say, once you've got the first bit on, you can generally run your thumb down there. Let me just grab you and hopefully bring this in a little bit closer there, because this is quite an important bit. So this is the rubber here. So you can see here I've got it started at the top there, and I can just run my thumb down there, and generally it attaches on, which makes it not too bad a job. Just like there, every now and again you get a little bit that doesn't quite go on properly, and you've just got to sort of jiggle your thumb sort of side to side. There you go, there's another bit, and you just jiggle it, and that's it going on. And again, it's maybe a little bit trickier than normal because it's so wet. So I'm going to run this all the way down here to the bottom. There's none goes along the bottom there. We've already got some there, and I've just got to come up here on this sort of triangular bit to do that. Then we'll get this window fitted, the triangle fitted, and over here and the rest of the roof done. So back with you in just a jiffy. So that's the little rubbery track on here. Let me show you how we've got it fixed on. There you go, all the way down there, all the way across there. Wasn't too bad a job, and I'm pleased to say it is stopping raining, so we can get them up putting some glass in. So I'll take you through doing this sort of front bit of glass here. I'll do it a little bit. I'll try and get the camera nice and close again and show you how we use some of, let me grab one out my pocket, some of these little clips here that might not look like much, but they're absolutely brilliant for keeping the glass in. They do just the job. And I'll take my hat off. There we go. Look, it's not raining anymore. I'll take my hat off. Marvellous. And one other thing to mention is when these greenhouses come for building it, all the parts are numbered like this, and they match a bit in the instructions that sort of tell you what to do. Now, remember, and anything that's going to have glass against it, take the sticker off before you put the glass in, because the glass is going to go in here, and if I don't take these stickers off now, I'll probably never get access to it again. I'll give that a bit of a scraping. You didn't even see that scraping off, but remember, take the stickers off. Right, I'll get it set up over here. We'll get one of the big bits of glass out. We'll come over here and we'll get that fitted in. So you're nice and high up here again on step ladder cam, so hopefully you can see everything that's going on here. And this is the main sort of sheets of glass that come. You might be able to see it there. Maybe it's not. It's a bit wet as well, obviously, with the rain. Now, what I should say is why it's in such big sheets. This is the toughened glass option that you can get, and that comes in these big, massive sheets, as opposed to the sort of smaller individual ones that you see in a lot of different greenhouses. And this bit here is just going to slide into this gap here, hopefully with a bit of luck. I'm just going to nudge it ever so slightly with my foot at the bottom there. And what I want to do is, for using those little glaze and clip things that I showed you, just feeling with my fingers, I just want to make sure that the gap at either side here, so there's a tiny, tiny, tiny little gap for getting the clips in. I just want to make sure that's pretty much equal on both sides of the greenhouse. Then just be careful when you're handling the glass. I mean, the edges aren't particularly sharp, but just be careful. I don't want anybody hurting themselves or cutting a finger or anything like that. And I'm just going to have a feel along the bottom here as well. Everything's square and level. I just want to make sure the glass is sitting nice and flat and there's no gaps on the bottom there before we sort of commit to putting it in. Now there's going to be two bits of glass here. So we've got a triangle bit that goes on the top, and you get these sort of little plastic runners, and let me show you there. You can see it's sort of two sides to it, and we just need to slide that onto the top of there like that, and then the little triangle bit of glass is going to sit in that groove on the top. Now I'm going to pop one of these little clips in now, first of all, because as soon as you've got one in, it generally holds the glass in pretty well. And what I'll do is I'll try and get you in nice and close so I can show you. I'll try and do this one-handed on the camera, one-handed on the clip, and we'll see if we can show you putting one of those in detail there. Okay, so here we go. So you can see there's a little sort of groove here, and there's a little U-shaped bit at the end of it, and the little prongs. Let me get these clips out here. These little prongs on either end, they sit in this little groove, and as you push it in, they stretch out, and these prongs go behind the glass. So let me see if I turn it around the right way, it helps. And if I can do it one-handed, I'm aware my hand is blocking the camera at the moment. Let me just try and, so you can see how it looks there, like move it around, right? So you can see which way around it goes. And in theory, I should just be able to push it, and that clips in behind the glass there, that clips in behind the glass there, and that's it in. So you can see this bit here goes behind the glass, this bit here goes behind the glass, and then this bar here sits on top with the two prongs in here, and they're sort of sitting behind that U shape there. And then on these big sheets of glass, there's 4 of these either side. So I'll go off now, I'll get the rest of them in, and we'll come back in a bit and see how things are looking. Well, believe it or not, here we are inside the finished greenhouse. Look, we've got all the glass. It's up here, it's up here. So over here we've got this nice little window, opens and closes. Just a manual one at the moment. We might look to get the automatic one at some point. Full disclosure, I made a little bit of a mess of this bit of glass at the back here. I put one of the full length bits in there, and it wasn't meant to be one of those. It's got this sort of 3 smaller bits that were meant to go in there. As to why it's 3 smaller bits as to one of the big bits, I have no idea. It might be you can buy an optional Louvre window, so one of those sort of slatted windows that opens and closes. Perhaps it's meant to fit in here somewhere, or in the grand scheme of things, if you have one of them as an option, but I don't. So maybe that's why that's like that. I don't know, but I'm here. It's finished, and I'm chuffed to bits that it is finally done. So I can start getting the inside kitted out. So the build's done. A bit of a sort of summary as to how we got here, I guess. I ordered this greenhouse around and about 7 weeks ago, I think, and it took about 4 weeks to get delivered, which is fine. That's absolutely all right. There's no bother with that. And it came, delivery guys are brilliant, brought all the stuff round, that sort of stuff. Putting the frame up, a little bit tricky, and I think that's primarily because the instructions are a bit rubbish. Let's be, full disclosure, the instructions are naff. They're rubbish. They're not very good. They need updated. They need modifying. They need a really good modern series of videos that show people step by step how to put one of these things together, and just do those little things that the instructions don't tell you to do, like how to put the little clips in for the glazing, how to fit the door stop on the end of the bar that the door sits in. Just those little bits and pieces as to like how to figure them out and how to do that. It just needs that to make it a million times better. Anyway, I am chuffed to bits with the finished product. Yes, we had some issues with a couple of missing bits. Halls, who I ordered it from, they were very apologetic, and they got the missing bits sent out to me straight away. I mean, they sent them, it was like the Sunday I told them, they sent them on the Monday and they were delivered on the Tuesdays. A couple of different things, some posts, a bit of the structure there, and the little J clips that I mentioned earlier on in the video that sort of attach the greenhouse to the base. All sorted out, dead quick, and it's here, and it's built, and it's great quality. So again, some of the options that I went for the green frame. Depending on the light in this video, it's a bit dull at the moment, and the roof's covered in rain. It might look black. I can assure you the frame is green. I went for the toughened glass, which is why you can see the big panes of glass here. That's one of the options there from the toughened glass. And did I go for any other options? I think that's the only other options I went for. And I went for the base. So the base is an option as well. You can choose to have the base that it sort of sits on. I'm glad it does. I mean, I'm 5'10" and I'm only 6 inches or so off the roof, so without that base I would pretty much be hitting my head off the roof. So quite a good option to take, because the base makes it nice and easy for putting it down flat and things like that as well. No faffing on to get it nice and level and square and that sort of stuff. The base is really good. It's sorting that out for you. Anyway, what's left to do? See, you might be able to see from the camera angle you're at, it's just mud in here at the moment. I think the floor I'm going to put down is I've got some weed suppressant fabric. There's a big dandelion here. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to take that out. I don't want any sort of perennial weeds in here. So I'll take the dandelion out, weed suppressant fabric down to B&M, get some sharp sand, get the sand in, nice and level, and I've got some spare 2x2 sort of patio slabs that I think I'll put in here. And because this greenhouse is 6x6, I think I've got just the right amount to make a nice floor in here. And if I can get that nice and level, I've got a couple of staging units, one for this side, one for that side. We'll get them in. I want nice and level, so it's not going to wobble and stuff like that. I've got a potting bench that I'm probably going to put along the back here. And then we should be set up. It's just me tinkering with lots of little bits and pieces after that to get it just how I want it. But I'm chuffed a bit. And I guess the one key question, I guess, finishing off this video and just thinking about the whole experience of this Halls greenhouse, Halls as a company ordering and the problems and stuff like that. Would I recommend getting one? And you know what? Yes, I think I would. There was a couple of little niggly issues with the missing bits and stuff like that, but they were dead good about sending stuff out. I say they delivered them really, really quickly. The instructions a bit naff, but you can get through them, muddle through them, you can get it built. The glass is brilliant. It's rock solid, you know, it's really, really, really great. Once it's up, once it's put together, what a great piece of kit, and I'm looking forward to using it. So, and I have no doubt, the missing bits, the stuff like that, I know other people who have ordered stuff from Halls, they've had little issues, and then some have had no issues whatsoever. So it's, you know, it's like anything that you order that you could have some trouble with. In full disclosure, you know, I'm filming this for YouTube. I get nothing from Halls. They don't sponsor me. They've not given me anything, nothing like that. I'm just a normal punter who's bought one of the greenhouses and then put it up. And it's great. It's smashing. Although again, I'm going to stop using that word smashing in relation to greenhouses because I think I'm just asking for trouble. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for watching any of the other videos that I've done on the build around this greenhouse. I'll probably have one more left to do over the next couple of weeks, which will be me kitting out and sorting out the inside. Hopefully it won't take too long. I just want to make sure it's nice and level, so that staging again is not going to sort of wobble when it's here. But anyway, that's me done for today. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now, folks.